Hey, this is for all you Japanese race car fans. So the Lexus SC series is a front-engined, rear-wheel drive Grand Touring car of questionable styling merit. They had two generations. The very first one came out in '91 and was sold up until 2000, and then the second gen came out about in like 2001 and ran up until I think 2005. Yeah, that's what the internet's saying at least. And so they actually took the car racing. Obviously, you can see this, picture. So there's something called the Japanese Grand Touring Championship, obviously in Japan, but nowadays I think it's just called Super GT, and they have two classifications: 350 and GT 500. So those are around the horsepower outputs of the vehicles. So this thing, it did have a 4.5 liter V8, and it had around 500 horsepower, and it was just rear wheel drive. The race car was run between 2006 and 2009, and this Kyosho model we're looking at is actually the car that won the 2006 season. So let's take a look here. Autobax is like a parts store, Japanese parts stores, kind of like a Pep Boys or AutoZone. This is obviously a crystal case, so I'm hoping it's got better detail than the typical blister packs. What I was looking for is a year. I don't see like a year when this thing came out, which is pretty silly for a collectible in my opinion. But we know it at least came out past 2006, or in the year 2006, I would imagine. Okay. So we got a little back card. I'm not sure. Does anyone know why beads? Like, why would they call something the beads collection? What's cool about beads? And what do beads have to do with diecast cars? So, there's some weird dragons on it. If anyone knows, please leave a comment. I'd be curious. It's kind of a weird title for a line of diecast. So, we got these teeth here holding this crystal case. And then the car is screwed down to a base so it doesn't just fall off. But I'm going to take it off here. There's no antenna that could break, so... Okay. So, this is the only front view, or couldn't really find a rear view of the real car. But let's take a look here. It's a little bit reflective. Unfortunately, the thing is so shiny. My camera, my photo booth is just so bright, it's hard to really see. But I'm gonna just look at it with the naked eye. It seems alright. Seems close enough to me. I can't imagine there's a better version of this race car in 1/64 scale. Okay, well, let's get a better look here. So the wheels, there's a lot of friction. They don't really want to spin. You can even hear them dragging. So it is nice. There's disc brakes back there. That's actually not common on Kyoshos. And I think they actually stay in place because you can see the tabs here by the axles. So yeah, this is I can't remember if I have another Kyosho with stationary disc brakes, but these disc brakes are definitely stationary. What's weird is I don't see a caliper. If you're gonna have, the only reason to have stationary brakes is to have the caliper not spin with the wheels. But if it doesn't have a caliper, I don't even understand why they went through that trouble. Right? Or am I right? It's just weird to me. Okay, anyways, the tires look good. You usually don't get printed tires from the blister packs, so this is the extra effort that we don't see in the blisters. The printing looks pretty good. Is it decals or prints? I think they are tampo prints. I'm not seeing like that wrinkliness around in between the letters there, so should be pretty durable. These mirrors are really small. Unfortunately, this one's horizontal as it should be. This one's a little messed up. And then the backside is silver, so that's okay. Alright, the front view. Relatively thin chin spoiler there. This is relatively thin as well. There's actually a little red here indicating the tow hook there, so that's not bad. Some ribbing detail there with the black paint, well applied. The headlights look really good. It looks like you got two projector beams or whatever they were running there, but pretty good. It's super reflective back there. It looks like a chrome paint inside of a silver paint. So I think that might have been what's throwing off my camera as well earlier. Okay, so a little black here, and then this Lexus and grill is just printed on. There's no dimensionality to it, but I don't think the real car has any dimensionality because it's probably just like a fake grill, you know, being a race car. Like kind of like NASCAR cars, right? It's all just a graphic. Alright, so we got a little detail here at the top, some vents, a little bit of depth there. Yeah, the graphics look good. I'm still debating if this yellow one is a decal or not. It's hard to say. But definitely the Toms here is a print. It's not a decal. There's none of that clear right there, so that's good. This wiper blade is a separate piece of plastic, so that's a detail you don't get on the blisters. They would be molded in on a blister. But this, I can see the hole in the pin going in, so that's good. Okay, so let's see here, going around to the back. Now this actually isn't the transparent, it's just a black graphic. Maybe the real race car actually doesn't have a piece of plexiglass back there, so that could be accurate. Not really sure though. And then the printing on this wing is good. It's not a decal, so that should be durable. And then the wing itself, how thick is it? It's not the thinnest wing. I've seen thinner by Kyosho, but it's not as bad as Hot Wheels. The sides are really thin though. And then the wings tend to have curvature. It's pretty flat on the top. What about the bottom though? No, that one's actually pretty flat too, so it's not actually a wing profile. Alright, plastic lenses with a little silver there for a backup light, I guess. Looks pretty good, I guess. Yeah, printing on the back looks pretty clear. It's pretty crisp. Even these little, maybe these are latches to hold the trunk down. And it's pretty cool. I think these are the exhaust tips, I would imagine. They're two circles and they're black. What else would they be? It's not a parachute. And with some black paint here, I guess this must relieve pressure from the wheel well. Well, you know what? This is supposed to be the exhaust. Because, back to this photo. See? There's a giant exhaust burning that rear fender. So, maybe these are, well, I don't know. Anyone have any comments? What would those be? Okay. It's interesting there's no rear bumper at all. Probably to reduce drag. Right? The diffuser just cuts off there. But what's strange is if they carried the base all the way across, it would create more downforce, you know, because you're creating more of a wing underneath the car. So that's interesting. Maybe it didn't need much downforce because the wing up here? I don't know. What do you guys think? Huh. Okay, well, anyways, so this one here has screwed together base, so I guess it's not super old. It's gotta be a relatively recent casting within the last 10 years, I imagine. Alright, well, I don't see any paint rash, or bubbling. Uh-oh, but look at this. Now I am seeing that clear wrinkliness here, right here. See, paint, clear wrinkle. So maybe this is a decal. Maybe this whole thing is one decal. Scares me. Yeah, that could be a problem in the future. So that's too bad. Well, I guess if I don't touch it too much, it shouldn't be a problem, but I almost think this could be an air pocket. I don't want to press against it. It might go right through. Okay, well, anyways, at least for now, the model's in pretty much flawless condition, so that's pretty good. So, I don't know if I have any other Japan Grand Touring Championship cars that are new. It's possible this Kyosho here might have run in the JGTC, but back in the, you know, was it the 60s or the 70s this thing was racing. Could have been racing in both periods. But anyways, I thought I'd just bring it out for comparison of size. So yeah, that's an old classic car. is going to be a smaller car in most instances. Whereas the modern one, this thing's got a crazy wide body kit, crazy giant picnic table of a rear wing, and then obviously much larger wheels. Alright, let's let it finish its last spin there. Okay, well, what do you guys think about this Lexus? What do you think about the SC series? Do you find that vehicle attractive? I'm guessing it. I don't find the SC series very attractive, and that might be why there are only 2 generations of that car, never continued on. But it's pretty interesting to see that road car morph into this race car. So, and apparently is relatively successful, these drivers here. Andre Lauderer and Juichi Wakisaka are the race drivers of this vehicle, and they're the ones that won. And actually, I didn't point out, their names are actually on right above the roof here. Juichi and Andre. So that's a good attention to detail by Kyosho. Okay, so pretty cool. Alright, well, I don't know, maybe I'll get some more of these Grand Touring, Japanese Grand Touring cars. I know there's a whole bunch of Skylines. I think Kyosho put out an entire collection of Skylines that ran in the JGTC, or Super GT as it's called. And maybe I'll pick up some of those in the future. We'll see. Alright, well, thanks for watching again, and we'll see you in the next spin.